Hello, I'm Casey,
And I'm Mackenzie,
and this is Field Notes from the Unknown.
a podcast about your favorite local cryptid.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am good.
You're out there
Enjoying this?
sweating but being gorgeous as usual on this hot Sunday.
Absolutely. But there is a breeze going, so it's really not that bad. It's kind of nice.
I love your sunroom. It's so pretty. And I love the Monstera plant in the background. It's, a good setting, especially for today's episode.
Ooh, what's today's episode?
Well, here we are for part 3 of our Sasquatch soiree, so to speak.
Ooh.
I'm taking you to a different part of the United States today.
Okay.
So far, we've reviewed, we talked about the Florida skunk ape,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about, what was our first one? Our first one was
The skunk ape, the grass man.
yeah. We've been to Ohio, we've been to Florida. Now we're going to be taking a journey to the Northeast.
Ooh, okay.
So I just want you to know, before we get into this, that this episode is heavily inspired by a beautiful, beautiful book called Monsters of the North Woods, which is still, I think it's out of print now. We can find some copies online yet. And it is probably the best book out there that documents the history of Bigfoot and wildman encounters dating back all the way to the 1700s.
Do you have the book?
I do.
You do.
So, Monsters of the North Woods by Robert E. Bartholomew. And if you want to borrow it anytime, you may borrow it.
Okay.
All right. So first things first, I wanna set the scene. So we are going first to October Mountain. So it is August 21st of 1983. It's about 10 p.m. in Washington, Massachusetts. You are sitting with 3 of your best friends around the roaring, crackling campfire. You have decided to camp at Camp Eagle, an abandoned Boy Scout camp on the shore of Felton Lake, and the setting of a really, really great B-grade slasher horror movie, I would think. The fire is cracking, there are loons out on the lake. The last of the evening fireflies are twinkling out of existence on this quiet and still night.
Beautiful.
You're exchanging ghost stories over the fire when all of a sudden you hear a rustling in the leaves. Now, it's just a little rustling, so you assume either it's a squirrel or it's somebody trying to prank you. So you carry on back to ghost stories. You put some marshmallows on some sticks and you roast them. You have the most amazing s'mores full of bugs, because that's what happens on a campfire in the middle of the woods. But 3 hours later, right around midnight, a rustling happens again. But this time it's louder. 2 of your friends, Eric Durant, who's 18, and Frederick Peridew, 22, get up to investigate. They wander about 100 yards into the woods, and then they start to see something. It's on 2 legs. It's silhouetted by moonlight, and it is fucking huge. Later, the boys were quoted in the Berkshire Eagle saying, "I don't scare easily, but it sure scared me." You run back to camp, you hurriedly pack all your belongings, and you throw it into the back of your little hatchback car. You extinguish the fire because, remember, kids, only you can prevent forest fires.
That is right.
Yes. Then you pile in, and the engine rumbles to life. And as soon as the headlights twinkle on, you freeze. Because in the headlights,
It's in
you
front
have
of the fucking
illuminated a hulking figure that is crouching in the brush, staring at you with glowing fire red eyes.
car. I just got goosebumps.
Yeah. Slowly, it raises up onto 2 feet. It has dark, shaggy, dark brown fur, and it's almost 7.5 feet tall. You shit your pants. Your
As
friend who's
one
driving,
would.
absolutely. They put pedal to the metal and they race out of there. And that is a true story that happened to a group of 4 teenage and young college-age boys on October Mountain in Massachusetts.
Well, is this Sasquatch? Is this the Sasquatch?
This is the Sasquatch. And so I welcome you to Monsters of the Northwoods.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Look, I was excited, but I was excited about the other two, the skunk ape and the grass man. Great. I'm very excited for this one.
So we have quite a bit of regions to get through today because the Northwoods are actually quite large. Um, the Northwoods, I think people think about the East Coast really and like the seaboard and think about, like Boston and like Baltimore and Rhode Island and um, all of these like seaside communities. And they think, how the hell could there be something like a Bigfoot living out there?
Mm.
But fact of the matter is, there's still a lot of dense woodland out in the Northeast. And not to mention, the Northeast is the end point, the termination point of the um, Appalachian Mountains. You've also got the Adirondacks, which are snowy for half the year and a really, really big draw for skiers, but also a big draw for a large bipedal hominid creature that lives off of deer and small animals, you know?
That is nuts.
So I'm going to take you, we're going to go to every state. I'm going to give you a little spice of what Sasquatch looks like in each state. And just to kind of give you an idea of the lay of the land, the Northeast refers to Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, even Rhode Island, New York State, and some would argue Pennsylvania, our own current home state. So we're going to touch a little bit on all
Okay.
those today. You
That is a
ready?
lot to cover. I'm ready.
It is.
What are we starting with?
So I want to take us back to Massachusetts since October Mountain was the home of our opener for this episode. And Massachusetts has a lot of really spooky Bigfoot encounters, like that first case up on October Mountain. Um, it's a pretty tiny state, honestly, but it has a surprising amount of biodiversity. Um, if you think about it, on one end of Massachusetts is Boston and Cape Cod and like a fuck ton of sharks,
Yes.
especially this time of year. Also, maybe a sea monster, refer to our, Gloucester sea serpent.
Yeah. There are sea monsters up there.
But if you go to the far western end, there is a low mountain range, really more like rolling hills, but we're going to call it a mountain range for the Massachusetts sites. And that range is called the Berkshires. I think, quote me if, this could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Berkshire Hathaway was like created up there, but
I don't know.
yeah. So the maximum elevation of the Berkshires is about 3,500 feet, and that's on Mount Grellick or Greylock. Not totally sure how y'all pronounce it up there. And the Berkshires are well known for both skiing as well as leaf peeping, which in my mind is just like people going around and playing, like peekaboo, I see you with a bunch of
No.
trees. But
That is not leaf peeping, because I myself am a leaf peeper. I love going up there. Vermont, especially. But I'm sure everything up there's amazing.
we have got to make it up to Vermont or maybe Massachusetts for
I've
a
been
little
to Salem, which is
How was it?
Massachusetts. It was very nice.
Oh.
I went on the off season. We got a cat. We
Moving
have
orange.
a cat.
Moving orange. Everyone, this is Toddy. Toddy wants to talk about cryptids. Also, isn't it Salem's, 300th anniversary this year?
I think you might be right.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
It is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have to go up because I think it's beautiful.
So, legends of Bigfoot in the Berkshires go back all the way to the first native people that lived out there. Of course, October Mountain is part of the Berkshires. So, big sightings happened there in both 1765, super, super early, and then 1895. Um, one of those sightings was something called the Cobble Mountain Critter. Cobble Mountain watershed borders October Mountain. And there, in the early 1800s and 1700s, people cited a hairy hominid creature and saw it going on about a 50-year period repeatedly. It's on 2 feet and full of dark, shaggy, brown-black hair, maxing out between 9 and 10 feet tall. But it's also not only those kind of like semi-mountainous hilly areas in the Berkshires that are home potentially to Sasquatch. Um, Leominster State Forest is located only 45 miles west of Boston, but it is colloquially known as Monsterland. So, if you are out in Boston area, that is a great place to go out Sasquatch hunting. There have
If
been
you happen to be a ranger at that park, please let us know.
we want to
'Cause
hear all of your news.
you guys have the best stories. Yeah, amazing.
They really do. They absolutely do. People have found footprints out there. They have heard mysterious calls from the forest, and there have been 10 plus sightings of either red or dark brown, shaggy, Bigfoot-like creatures on 2 feet.
Do they have prints of these footprints?
I think there are casts out there in circulation that you can find in the footprints.
I have a big dog.
Kit. She's a big fluffy
Come
dog.
here.
This is a very petful episode.
It is a very petful episode. I think we got jinxed because someone in our comments was like, I want the cats.
I love that.
So here
We
you
got 'em
go.
all
You get them
today.
all.
Yeah. So then we've talked about Western Massachusetts. We talked about kind of Central Massachusetts. Surprisingly, the other place you can find, maybe not surprisingly, but the other place that has Bigfoot sightings is a place we have visited before. It is to the southeast of Boston, and it's the Bridgewater Triangle.
I knew we're going to probably travel to the Bridgewater Triangle a lot more.
Absolutely. So, Bridgewater Triangle Bigfoot encounters are similar to all other encounters across the state. Some of them are roadside crossings. Some of them are visualization from inside the swamp of a upright bipedal hominid. But certainly there were a shit ton of weird noises that go on in Bridgewater Triangle. And the association with the area and puckwudgies does lead to some people wondering if perhaps Bigfoot is actually
Yes.
it is a possibility. I
We
myself,
don't have any bones.
we don't have bones, but have you ever heard of the body farm?
Yes.
Yeah. So Body Farm is a location, I think it's owned by the FBI or somebody like that, where they put a whole lot of different remains. You can volunteer your body to science and the Body Farm, and they see how bodies decompose in a variety of different outdoor locations. Um, Bones and tissue do not last long at all in deep forest environments. So it isn't surprising to me that we don't have bones.
I guess you're right, but I
But
want bones.
it's interesting because our next story is actually going to talk about bones.
Ooh, I love bones.
All right. Do you have any comments, thoughts, or things about Massachusetts before we travel to a different state?
What was this one called? The critter? The
So,
cobblestone
the
critter?
Cobble Mountain Critter.
Cobble Mountain critter. I like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh, okay. I don't know. To top that name, that's gonna be hard.
Yep. So let's take ourselves over to Maine, one of our most northern states. I think people in like northern Maine are really barely like, I don't know. I feel like the accent of Mainers is just so hard to understand sometimes. A lot of them speak French up there. And I don't know. I feel like they're barely part of the United
don't-
States.
I mean, at this point, they might be happy about that comment.
Honestly, yeah,
I
right.
I don't know if I've ever talked to anyone from Maine.
Yeah.
I know the Boston accent.
That one I can understand, but sometimes like deep woods Maine, I'd have a really hard time with. So
Mm.
the first historical account I'm going to tell you about from Maine is from Deer Isle and South Gardiner. So historical accounts in Maine also start with the first people, the Native Americans of the region. But the first white men that talked about
A white
experiences,
man? No.
they had experiences as early as 1895. And that was in Kennebec County. Early settlers noted strange footprints and loud, unearthly vocalizations. And as they were digging out areas for crops and excavating for minerals, they found several strange, unnaturally tall, humanoid-like skeletons.
So, do you think these could be like the cavemen skeletons?
It's possible. There aren't a ton of details out there about the Deer Isle and South Gardner skeletons.
Where can we go see them?
They're not there anymore.
Who
So
who took them? They should be
There-
in a museum.
there's certainly a fair amount of conspiracy theories about the giant skeleton because this wasn't the only time that people found giant skeletons on their land. People say that like people show up and take the skeletons, or they get shipped to the Smithsonian, and mysteriously go missing. But
I don't want to have a break and enter, like a breaking and entering charge, but like to get locked inside of the Smithsonian would be more exciting than to get locked inside of like a Mall of America or some shit.
yeah, yes,
So I guess if you're locked in, would it be breaking and entering?
I don't think so because you're breaking out for your own because at that point they're basically
At that point,
keeping
I'm
you
not going to
in.
break out. I'm just going to stay there and see. Because in my head, the Smithsonian is so much bigger underneath it, which is
Yeah.
where they have all the archives. And I'm like
Yeah.
talking big. And there are so many things that only some woman named Greta, who's worked at the Smithsonian for 60 years, only knows the
Greta.
true lore. So,
Greta, please write in.
please write in. I don't know who Greta is, if her name's even Greta, but someone at the Smithsonian who has worked there for 50 plus years, write in, let us know. I know there's lore there.
There absolutely is. There must be.
Where
Think
are
of
these
the amount of weird
skeletons?
bones and teeth and hair samples. Hell, they may
Exactly.
even have a full body.
And the rotating exhibits? Come on. There's
Yeah.
something.
Oh yeah, I would love to break in and look through the archives.
Right?
Yeah, I'm probably on some watch list at this point. It's fine.
I mean, we both probably are. But let's
Yeah.
just change career paths and just go do that for like a second.
Don't tempt me. Also, my boss listens to this sometimes, so we're mostly kidding. But I mean, if the podcast does take off, then I hope you
We're
know.
like 90% kidding. And that other 10% is what
But-
you have to worry about.
But I do love that she listens sometimes. So shout out. You know who you are.
Thank you.
Thanks for supporting us. All right.
Okay.
So I want to take you to our next county in Maine. So this is Kennebec County. So these sightings, multiple sightings and experiences, began in the autumn of 1975. And for the most part, it was locals who were out deer hunting and saw weird footprints, which they did not cast, as well as unearthly shrieks, like all hell was breaking loose out of the ground in Maine. But there were visual encounters as well. So Debbie and Donna Adams were walking along Camp Road near, Cabosicanti stream. Cabosicanti.
Cabosicanti. You probably
5:30 p.m.
did a better job at pronouncing that than I would. So
Cabosicanti. If I didn't do that right, I'm really sorry, Maynard. You're going to have to just give me some room on this one. But it was 5:30 at night on September 22nd. So probably not quite dark yet, probably about twilight in September, I would imagine. As they neared Benson Road, all of a sudden, they saw something emerging from the tree line. It was hair covered and looked like a man swaying back and forth and watching as another person who was across the street on their property chopping wood.
So we have the man swaying back and forth and a man chopping wood.
Mhm.
And then the two witnesses.
Yep, we have a hairy, fur-covered creature swaying back and forth in the wood
Okay.
line, watching a man chopping wood, and the girls are coming upon the scene.
Okay.
So the girls screamed
I'm
And
sure
the
it was
creature,
exactly like that too.
I think so. The creature looked at them and they described that it had an ape-like face with kind of a heavy brow ridge and really big dark eyes. It looked at them and then it turned and fled across the road and into the woods. It also had a white patch on its chest, which reminds me a little bit of that picture of the swamp ape that we talked about
Yeah,
from our last Sasquatch-centric episode.
with the stripe, but that stripe was down its back.
Yep. Yeah. It also had though that weird palmetto picture had white
Mm.
here too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one still haunts my nightmares. It also said they said it had a bushy appearance around its jawline and the top of its head. So like additional hair here and here as well.
Okay.
So that was weird.
That is
So
weird.
then there were, random reports. There's also probably a ton of people that never reported their story as well. But the next written encounter is all the way up in 2006 in Ellsworth Falls in Hancock County. A young couple were out taking a forest bathing walk where they glimpsed a tall, very thin, bipedal figure with super duper long arms standing on the shoulder of the road. They noticed it noticed them, and then they looked at each other, looked back, and it was gone. Disappeared to the woods.
Oh. What did the dude chopping wood do? Just like,
I think he looked towards the girls that had screamed, and then he never even saw the creature.
he's like, what the fuck are you guys screaming at?
Yeah, why are you screaming? Stop that. That's cray cray.
Literally, he's like, fuck, they have hysteria again. And this time it's spread up here.
Send them to an asylum. They had their female time. So then last encounter I want to touch on out of Maine is from the Morrow Plantation, which is in Aroostook County. So in 2007, there was a local
Ooh.
fisherman named Jeff Kane. Yeah, pretty recent. Both of these are pretty recent.
Yeah.
He was out fishing at Green Pond, and it was dusk. So probably whereabouts like 8, 9-ish o'clock during the summer. Suddenly, he heard a deep, angry 5-second roar, almost like the Ohio howl, explode from across the water, causing him to shit his pants, probably, allegedly. He didn't say that.
Allegedly, he shit his pants.
And then flee and leave. He never saw the creature, but he couldn't identify any kind of local fauna that could have produced such a sound.
It's nuts.
Yeah. And again, like, northern Maine is really remote, like, remarkably remote.
Yeah.
Listener, pull up Google Earth and go look at, like, northern Maine. There is nothing out there. A whole lot of nothing. Swamps,
Like, we think
marshes.
northern Pennsylvania has nothing, which it kind of
Really
doesn't.
Yeah.
But it's
Maine, so
nothing
much.
like that.
Yeah. So I fully believe that there are people out there too that had sightings and just have never reported them because they get ridiculed.
I also think there are probably feral people out there living.
It's possible, but I don't think feral people get 9 to 10 feet tall.
No, that is absolutely correct. I'm not saying the feral people are Bigfoot. I'm saying they probably coexist with
Probably.
Bigfoot, and they're probably the only ones that can't even speak our language because they're that feral. So actually, we'll never know, and that's probably why Bigfoot thinks they're safe. And that all was just created right in this little head right here.
I love how your beautiful mind works. Also, if you're a feral person and you're listening to our podcast,
If you're a feral person and you can listen to this podcast, please write in. That's field notes from the unknown at gmail.com.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Even if we can't understand it, we will try and decode it the best we can.
We are just here for it. Thank you for coming.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. What do you think about Maine? Happy with Maine?
Oh, I love Maine.
All right. All right.
I think we have a bucket list of the whole New England, the whole new side of the New England states. Like, we gotta
We
go.
haven't even gotten to the most riveting encounter, which isn't even, we're going to save that for our second to last state.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But first, I want to just touch a little bit on New Hampshire. So, New Hampshire is an itty bitty state. So, not a whole lot comes out of New Hampshire, but it's still part of the Appalachian kind of entail, and also has the White Mountains, which have a perfect habitat for Sasquatch. And one of the earliest modern reports out of New Hampshire was in 1987 from Salisbury, New Hampshire, where a witness encountered a 9-foot creature who specifically, he said, had padded hands while he was out pheasant hunting.
Like
I
a
don't know the
dog's
details.
padded hands, or
So I think about and this is actually something that some Bigfoot researchers think is probably true. So a creature that sometimes goes down on all fours and also is barefoot in the woods likely has a thicker fat pad both on the hands and the feet than we do.
yeah.
So I think probably what they were seeing was a little pudginess in the hands that was a thicker fat pad.
I'm
But yeah,
thinking of a bear's feet,
yeah,
like a bear's paw.
honestly similar, just without the claws. Bigfoots do not have any claws because great apes don't have claws. And it's, again, here I am in the very obviously
Do they
real
have
questionable creature.
nails?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. I was like, I've never honestly saw an ape up that close, but I also never noticed if it has nails.
So I think our summary episode from this series will do a little bit of the overall description of what Sasquatch probably is, but a preview of that. Modern reports where people have witnessed the hands describe dark nails, which would be exactly how mountain gorillas are in Africa, and then square teeth, um, and then wide set eyes, and we'll talk a bit more about physical description later.
Oh, okay. All right, continue. Sorry.
Sound good?
Yeah.
No? Don't be sorry. I love this. All right, I'm going to take you next to Vermont,
Ooh, okay.
land of jams and berries.
Cheese and wine.
Cheese. Yep. Yep. Also, isn't that one big
Ben
ass
and
lake?
Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's. Yeah, the big ass lake with the lake monster.
Champ.
Yeah,
Yep.
Lake Champlain is in Vermont.
That is true.
So we're gonna go there next. Most of the reports out of Vermont come from the corridor in kind of the northern part of the state, which runs along Route 4, stretching from West Rutland, Vermont, all the way to Whitehall, New York, which hold your pants for Whitehall, New York. So, near Eden, Vermont, on August 6th in 2019. This is a super modern report.
Oh,
That
wow.
was only 7 years ago.
Yeah.
At about 10:15, a 67-year-old retired registered nurse and former private pilot reported seeing a large black humanoid figure walking upright past the driveway of their summer cabin located in upstate Vermont. She saw it for about 12 seconds from about 125 feet away and described what a lot of Sasquatch reports describe, which is a posture that's kind of leaned forward, so you don't quite get the full height until it straightens up to look and kind of absorb its environment. It also had unnaturally long, swinging arms and a rounded head and a very short neck, almost like the head was directly on top of the shoulders.
Are you describing Erling Holland?
I'm really sad that Norway lost last night.
Me too, but like I don't know. If you said long blonde hair, and I'm like, well, I don't know.
All I'm saying is that, there are, in fact, blonde Sasquatch and, white Sasquatch. So Holland may be, in fact,
A
a
Sasquatch?
Bigfoot. That would explain a lot.
That's
Wait.
really good at soccer.
Yeah. How big are Erlen Holland's feet?
I wonder how tall. He's like 6. I think he's like 6'5". I think him and Joe are like the same height.
He's large. Oh, you know what? Oh no, this is not. This is a lady. No. How do you spell his first name?
I believe it's ER. Hold on. ERLING. Erling.
Remarkably, he's only a US 10.5, which is surprisingly small given his
Oh.
towering height of 6'4" to 6'5".
Wow.
Wild. He's known to wear the Nike Phantom series. Wild. So, I don't know. Maybe he's just a Sasquatch and a Bigfoot.
He's probably just a Sasquatch
Probably.
and a Bigfoot. All right.
So,
Back to
this
describing
Bigfoot,
him.
yeah, this Bigfoot witness initially thought she was seeing a big-ass chimpanzee. And then she was like, wait, no, chimpanzees don't live in Vermont. And she had previously seen bears breaking into her trash, and this was clearly not a bear. So, I don't know. A nurse and a former private pilot, I think, has a lot of credibility.
I agree. Yes.
Yep. So after the figure disappeared, she had the balls to search the area, but found nothing. No footprints, no samples. However, later that day, her normally fearless chihuahua
Good
refused to
Lord.
go outside and trembled unceasingly.
Normally fearless Chihuahua.
Right?
I bet that Chihuahua would fuck it up too.
It would try. It would sure try. And that Bigfoot would pick it up and just go, "You look delicious. Hum nom nom. Popcorn chihuahua." You know? Yes. She did, though, notice bent vegetation where the figure appeared to have emerged from the woods and saw 3 barely visible faint heel impressions with toe marks measuring 12 inches at the roadside.
Okay.
So that was later on. She also said that she later on that week heard weird snapping branch noises and movement behind her garden.
Did it storm and all?
I don't know. I don't know if it did or not. And the cabin is located in a super remote, really wooden area up along the north branch of the Lemoy River, full of trails and really good like hunting land. And there's like nobody up there. So it wasn't a neighbor that she misidentified. Wild.
Interesting.
Fucking wild. All right.
That is nuts.
Are you ready for our next state?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's go to Connecticut. I don't want Connecticut to feel left out. So, first things first, we are going to go to what I think is our most recent account on this episode. So, October 2023.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. This
Very
is in
recent.
Fairfield. Yeah, this is in Fairfield County, Connecticut. A resident saw what they described as a bipedal animal that was large and hairy that they saw only super briefly on their property. But they saw it and also saw, or heard rather, unidentified howls as well as whoops, which is a very primate sound. And the same area has had multiple sighting reports, the earliest of which was in 1953. So that is nearly 100 years of sightings from this area.
That is nuts.
Then,
and that's like, go ahead.
Then, even more recently, in December of 2024, a motorist in New Haven County reported a road crossing of an 8-foot tall, almost black, hairy creature that crossed the roadway in front of them in about 2 strides and disappeared at the woods.
Two strides and then it crossed crossed the road.
Yep.
And I'm assuming this is like a two-lane road?
Yep. So average width of a 2-lane road is about 20 to 24 feet.
That is a very big stride.
So humans can't do that.
No.
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 Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Connecticut is tiny, but Connecticut, it has something.
Yeah,
And it really
there's
speaks
something.
to, like, there's this chain, like there's a chain all throughout, like Northeast United States of these encounters. And it could be, like there's that place we talked about that had the, sightings over 50 years, that probably is a resident population. But some of these might be creatures that are just moving through. But no state, except for Hawaii, is free of Sasquatch.
Hawaii's got to have something. I mean, of course,
we'll go there later.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Even Rhode Island, which is teensy tiny and known for like beaches,
Yeah.
is not alone. They
Not
also
safe.
have Sasquatch
They're not
reports as
safe.
well. It's primarily clustered on the western and southern portions. So one one account from Route 6 in the Foster Scituate area in 2010 was from a motorist who reported being spooked when a creature on 2 feet crossed the road in front of them. This creature took about 2 steps again, and on the second step, they also cleared a guardrail that was about 4 feet high in a single leap.
Damn.
Yep.
Okay.
And again, I would like to see somebody on
I
a
would
human
love
try
to
do that.
see someone do that.
Yeah, I don't think it's doable.
I don't think it's doable either. Absolutely not.
So now, I want to take you to. We have 2 more states left. I'm going to take you to maybe one of my favorite states for Sasquatch encounters. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We have left, second to last, the Empire State of New York. And
Which is very
first,
surprising that this is your favorite state for Sasquatch sightings. Because I'm not going to lie, I figured Washington State would be like the hottest spot for Bigfoot. But New
and I won't
York
lie to
is
you,
your favorite?
one of my favorite, I won't lie to you, the Northwest, Washington State and Oregon probably have the most per capita reports of Sasquatch. But I think for the East Coast, New York is slept on.
Well, I wouldn't have never guessed, so I slept on it.
So the first thing I'm going to tell you about are the Whitehall encounters. One of our favorite shows, Monster Quest, has a whole Whitehall episode.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I highly, highly recommend using that as some supplemental watching for the next segment here. So Whitehall, New York is probably the best known and publicized Bigfoot hotspot in the Northeast. The area has a long history of legends dating back to the Algonquins, who talked about the Kiwak, which was a large fur-covered creature that would howl ominously in the night and take children as well as crops from the Native Americans.
Why
But
is he snatching up kids?
he hungry.
Oh,
He hungry
what?
boy. Yeah.
Is there
Boy.
no marital instinct? Like, I'm picturing an ape taking a child, Tarzan.
Yeah. 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 But
Guess
I mean,
not.
there
Okay.
again, like my brain is full of so many Sasquatch encounters. Kids, there are a handful of kids that were like lost in the woods overnight and say that, like, oh yeah, quote unquote, a mama bear took me and protected me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A fucking bear's not gonna
I'm
protect a
sorry,
child, it's
what?
gonna fucking eat you. That's a Sasquatch. That was a fucking Sasquatch.
Yeah, I agree.
The Sasquatch are smart enough. They stand on 2 feet and they have arms that can pick a kid up and carry them out of there and then protect them. So I think those are female Sasquatches. A bear can't pick up a child
You're just gonna hope a female Sasquatch finds your child in the
before the
woods.
bear. Yes.
Yes, before a bear or an alien.
Yep. Before an alien for sure. So,
Okay.
August 1976. There were 3 teenagers that were out joyriding. I think it was two young men and one, like the girlfriend of one of the young men.
Man, if
But
teenagers didn't go out and do shit, we would have
we never
hardly
see
any
shit.
stories. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were driving along in an area of Whitehall that has like a bunch of fields. And you can find on a map where this happened. They saw a creature cross the road in front of them that they described as enormous, nearly 9 feet tall, red-brown hair, shaggy, and it looked at them as it was crossing the road. And then it went off into this high grass and stood there and watched them. The kids panicked and called the cops. And what that resulted in was 11 witnesses, 8 of which were police officers who had an extended encounter with this creature. Extended encounter.
That is
Nearly,
absolutely not what I thought you were gonna say. Because when the cops get involved, they're like blowing these fucking teenagers off and shit.
oh
11?
no, So the 3 kids and the 8 police officers saw this thing. And the police officers also witnessed it nearby this really famous lamppost where they could measure the height of it at right about, I think they measured it at like right about 7.5 feet. So, like, these are trained observers that watched this thing for nearly an hour.
What year did this happen?
1976.
Okay. That's nuts.
Not only that, but they saw it bring its hands up to its mouth and howl. They fucking saw it howl.
That is nuts. For our listeners, just so you know, I've been taking notes and I'm going to try and find the picture of this light post because I'm very intrigued to see it.
Please
So
do.
you'll have to check out our Instagram for the pictures and everything that I can find.
And of note, there was hello Toddy. There was a
Toddy's
project.
back.
He's back. Oh god, he's on the computer. Oh god.
Oh no.
There was a electricity project where the poles had to be retrofitted and fixed. So the pole itself came down, but it is in a museum in Whitehall, and they included there's now a memorial plaque located at the spot. And I think there may also be like a stake that shows the height of where the lamppost was. So the lamppost is no longer at the original site, but there are still markers there.
Oh wow, we can put a lamppost in a museum, but we can't fucking put bones in a museum?
Yeah. If they had a bone from Whitehall, they would not shy away from showing it. Whitehall is gung-ho about Bigfoot, man.
Wow,
So
okay,
this
add Whitehall
creature-
to the list.
Absolutely. They refer to it now as the Beast of Whitehall. The other thing is the Whitehall area is also famous for having some white Sasquatches. Erling Holland.
Albinos.
Not albino. They're just old. People think they're old, so they're white.
So it's just gray hair.
Yeah, like people hypothesize it's just an old Sasquatch that turned gray and then white. Yep.
Interesting.
So that's the Whitehall encounters. There was also an earlier encounter in the year before, in 75, that's less famous, but cool because there's a really cool fucking plaque and also a
Still in
festival
Whitehall.
nearby.
Okay.
So this was on Skeene Valley Country Club, and it was a sighting by the owner of the golf course there, Clifford Sparks, who saw a nearly 12-foot tall blonde goldish Sasquatch. And now there is a statue there, and annually there is a Sasquatch festival and a Sasquatch calling contest.
Why haven't you entered?
Maybe we will this year or next year.
Not me. I prefer your noises better. Excuse me?
Maybe on a summer episode, I will try my best to do an Ohio howl. Yep.
All right. Well, fuck, man.
I know.
We have a lot of places to go. Whitehall is now, it's Mothman and then Whitehall. They're like really close.
It's really close. And my friend, we aren't done with New York State. I'm telling you, New York State is slept on.
That is nuts.
Next, I will take you to Kinderhook. Have you heard of the Kinderhook creature?
No.
This is another famous New York Sasquatch. So, most of the Sasquatch encounters came from the 80s, but before the 80s, there was what is called the quote-unquote blob era.
Like the movie The Blob? Excellent.
Kind of.
Masterpiece.
So, in the 60s, witnesses described a floating white blob-like orb.
Okay.
One notable encounter in 1962 involved 2 armed men who were so scared by the entity that they fled out of the woods and might have taken some shots at it, but the blob was, didn't care for their bullshit. People often try to tie like orbs to Sasquatch phenomena, but that's probably another story for later. And I feel like the orb thing like devalues like the scientificness of the Sasquatch pursuit.
Are you going to tell me that the blobs that are floating are aliens and the Bigfoot somehow have ties?
Well, if you're Steve Gordon from Pennsylvania, yes.
Okay. Because that's where I was heading, and I don't know. I prefer to believe that Bigfoot travels through portals in the ground, but
I think that Bigfoot is a completely normal, natural entity, and the woods are fucking haunted and have a bunch of weird shit that happens there, but those shit are not related to Bigfoot.
So
because
you
I'm
don't
waiting
think
for it
Bigfoot
to
and
be
the aliens
proved.
are together?
Some people think so. I don't.
I'm teetering. I
But
don't know.
I would be a bad host to not tell you about all the possible options.
That is true. I want to hear everything. Okay.
Mhm.
Continue about the white blobs.
So in the 80s, the Hollenbecks happened. So
The Hollenbecks. Is this a
mhm,
like a people or is this a town?
Bruce Hollenbeck was an author and a radio broadcaster. He and his whole family during the 80s had a series of continually and more terrifying encounters on their home property. First, it started with howls from the woods that escalated to knocks on the side of their house and howls and terrifying encounters that they had that scared their kids from going outside at night. And this went on for years.
And then they disappeared. And a bloody massacre was found at their house.
The Hollenbecks are still alive. I think Bruce Hollenbeck is
Oh,
still alive.
okay. Sorry, Bruce.
But I think the Sasquatch has moved on. Other people in Kinderhook witnessed Sasquatch-like creatures rummaging through their trash, hanging dead coyotes from the trees, and then crossing roads in single bounds. Lots of
Mm.
people heard the sound of something in the forest, and one really smart person actually recorded it and then sent the recording to Cornell University, who said that the sound was not native to Northeast New York.
Do you have the sound?
I do not.
Okay.
I only have the allegedness of what happened with the sound. So if you want to know
Okay.
more about the Kinderhook creature, I highly recommend the Kinderhook creature series by Small Town Monsters, which you can find on YouTube.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, New York State is highly slept on for Sasquatch lore.
It
But
really is because I had no idea any of this. Like, honestly, I was going to touch on one cryptid in New York, which is Ratman,
yeah,
which is pretty, I don't know, self-explanatory, I think, for New York.
mhm,
I'm sorry, New York. I love rats. So, I don't know.
yeah,
But Bigfoot, never crossed my mind until now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mountains are probably fucking crawling with Bigfoot. I mean, the amount of density of bear. There's a hypothesis. Um, a lot of very valid researchers have hypothesized of what the population of Sasquatch in different areas might be. Um, one hypothesis is there's probably about 100 bear to one Sasquatch, based on caloric needs for a creature that size. Um, so, in case you're wondering, bear population in the Adirondack Mountains. There are about 4,000 bears in New York State. So that's not a lot, but I don't know, 40 Sasquatch in New York State that's enough that I would have a lot of fun going out in the woods and trying to hunt for some.
Yeah, and what you think? That number changes probably yearly.
And also, yeah, during high seasons. I mean, when the berries come out and the berries are ripe,
Yep.
that has a higher frequency of encounters
And you
during
think
deer
the
season when
bears
the deer fall on.
reproduce? I would
Yeah,
assume Bigfoots reproduce. Obviously, if there's a fucking grandpa Bigfoot out there.
absolutely. So let me take you to our last state for the Northeast, our home state. You ready?
Yes.
So, surprisingly, Pennsylvania, of all the states, is number 3 behind Oregon and Washington for Sasquatch encounters.
Nuh-uh.
Yep, I would not lie to you.
I know you wouldn't.
Number
That's
3.
nuts.
Yeah.
PA? Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yes. I swear to you. I swear to you. There are nearly 150 reports that are logged in the BFRO, which recall isn't all the sightings that they have. That accounts for about maybe a tenth of what they actually receive. So that's 1,500 reports from our state of Sasquatch encounters at a minimum. At a minimum. The hot spots are typically in southwestern Pennsylvania, closer to Ohio and West Virginia. But we also have some reports out of Gifford Pinchot, which is not far at all.
No.
And I'm going to share with you a report from Lancaster.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Before, though, we get there, I want to talk about Chestnut Ridge, which is a hotspot in our state for Sasquatch. Chestnut Ridge is often called our Twilight Zone.
I
People
love
see
that.
aliens, they see dogmen, and they also see Bigfoot. In fact, Dairy Borough, which is part of Chestnut Ridge, has officially declared Bigfoot as its official cryptid and has declared itself an official Bigfoot sanctuary.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I love that.
And the area is full of encounters of a bipedal hairy hominid.
Okay.
The other kind of hotspot is Center County. So Center County has Bald Eagle State Park. In Bald Eagle State Park, a seasoned hunter watched a massive creature hurtle across a guardrail and cross the highway, again in about 2 strides. And then in northern Pennsylvania, in Allegheny National Forest, which encompasses about 2 million square miles of public lands, multiple sighting reports have happened. In fact, they tend to cluster around the areas of Minister Hill Road in Forest County and then on the Clarion River. So if you live up in northern Pennsylvania and you've had a sighting in one of those areas, we would love to hear about it.
We want to hear about it.
We do.
Please write in.
Do you remember that I mentioned a white Sasquatch or like a blonde Sasquatch up in New York?
Yes.
We've had one here as well. So Carbondale, Pennsylvania is famous for having sightings of a white Bigfoot that was documented extensively by researcher Stan Gordon.
Ooh, do we have pictures of him?
Of Stan Gordon, we might. I'm sure that you're
No, of the white Bigfoot. As much as
Negatory.
I want to see Stan, I want to see the white Bigfoot more.
We do not have pictures of the Bigfoot.
So I read that sometimes with the advanced technology, how advanced technology is now, there's still no clear picture of Bigfoot because he puts off some kind of electromagnetic thing that will mess with technology.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
So again, I have a hard time with the woo stuff for Bigfoot because I really just want it to be proved as a species. That's flesh and blood. I think there's a fair amount of woo that does happen, and I think we should deal with that once we approve the species. But what I think is probably most likely is a couple of factors. Trail cameras are not silent, and they also emit infrared as part of their picture taking. So I think that we underestimate the eyesight of a great ape like a Sasquatch. They probably can both hear the cameras and see the infrared that's emitted by cameras. Even deer will turn towards like a trail cam when it takes a picture. So I think they're really fucking smart and they know better. And so we're never going to get a picture like that. And then when there are hikers or such that are out in the woods, when you're in that fight and flight feeling, when you see something that you never thought existed, that changes the paradigm of what you think is out in the woods, your instant reaction is not to pull your phone out and take a picture. It's absolutely not. So there are some respected researchers that have suggested that rather than carrying a firearm, up in the aim and ready to fire kind of position, we instead carry a camera and get ready that in an instant, if we see something weird, we snap a photo of it. So I'm hoping that that methodology gives us a photo.
I feel like it would be bad luck to kill a Bigfoot.
I tend to agree, but I'm not sure that they'll be proved unless there's a body. But there is an
I'm not going to be the person that does that. I don't want that bad juju.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way, honestly. Is they're so human-like that killing them feels wrong. But it's probably necessary. However, there's an huge scale research project going on at North Carolina State University, being led by a man named Darby Orcutt. They have over 1,000 samples of flesh and fur and soil samples that would have made contact with a Bigfoot foot. And they, I think, are our best hope for actually proving the species.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hope to
Yep.
be around when they do confirm the species.
Me too. It might take years because real science takes a long time, but I am optimistic.
I hope it's in my years.
Yeah. So let me wrap this up with a report that, again, not to triangulate us, we're far from Lancaster, but it is close-ish to us.
Yes.
This report is old, but from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is in 1858, one of the earliest Sasquatch accounts from Pennsylvania. And this sighting made national news. The report was that a strong, bear-like, hairy creature, but on 2 feet and with a face like a man, was seen near Lancaster, and actually sucked cow's milk from like dairy cows and walked upright and fled, bounding on 2 feet like a deer when it was discovered.
Okay.
Yep.
And this
So
made the news?
it made the news. National
That's freaking
newspapers.
nuts.
I know. So
Oh.
Sasquatch are here in our home state.
Well, there's a lot of things, especially in Appalachia, that are not known. So it does not surprise me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that was excellent. I really liked that one.
That was dense. So I'm sorry about the length and the density, but I
No.
wanted to get you a full sampling of the Northeast.
I liked it.
All right,
That was
so
excellent.
believability scale, 1 to 5 for Sasquatch in the Northeast.
5. 5.
We love to hear it. 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
know, I'm the same way.
I
I
mean,
will die on this hill.
that is a 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Listeners, please write in and tell us how you rank Sasquatch in the Northeast. Get
Yeah.
your hands on a copy of Monsters of the Northwood to hear more about some of the old newspaper reports of the wild men that were probably Sasquatch. Yeah, and also hop over to the Kinderhook Creature show by our small time monster friends, Seth Breedlove and others. Yeah, give them a watch. They're amazing.
yeah, and like, share, subscribe. Well, not subscribe. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, subscribe. Whatever you want to do. You can find us everywhere at Field Notes from the Unknown. Yeah, and I think that's it for us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.